Alright, just like how every month, when it's someone important's birthday, Shinobi Collection likes to release pretty much two versions of that character. And October is Naruto's birthday. So pretty much the beginning of the month, we're gonna get a Naruto, and the Naruto we're gonna get is this Naruto, which is a Shinobi Tactics version of Naruto. While the normal Shinobi Collection, we're getting Sasuke, which I already went over, and if you didn't watch that video and you don't care about how good that Sasuke is, just don't summon for him, he's bad. But here, this character is a 4-star, but not a 4-star limited, which means his rate is 3%. He's not like Kakashi, who has a 0.1% pull rate. So 3% is doable. And he's special because Naruto is the very first 4-star character that's an attack unit. So we've gotten, so far there's only 4 stars, and I'm not counting Kakashi as a 4-star. I count him more as a 4L, which is 4-star limited. So this is the first attack units. The other one is we have 2 defense, which is Naruto and Gaara. We have a healer in Sakura, and we have a speed unit in Sasuke. And this character is the first attack. The only attack unit we really have experience for that we use a lot is Lee. And I guess we can compare for him right now. Lee's stat is around 101k attack, 101k HP, I'm sorry, 54k attack, 35k defense, and then 1-3 movement. All these extra movements, don't worry about it. Those all extras are Naruto's, and Naruto has 159k attack, which is, let's compare him to like, so 172 for defense unit, higher than Sasuke, higher than speed unit, higher than Sakura, and the other one is Gaara. Where's Gaara? A little bit lower. So he has the 3rd highest HP. Unless we count, do we count these units? Tsunade has a very low HP, Jiraiya has a high one, and then Orochimaru is lower than Naruto. So yeah, Naruto has a, other than defense unit, he has the highest HP in the game. His attack is most likely the highest attack in the game. I didn't even check. Sasuke 73, so a lot higher. Naruto's 88k. No really reason. Kakashi is limited, that's why. 4-star limited stats are just off the roof for no reason. Like, there's really no point of comparing Naruto to Kakashi. They're pretty much like, you can say that Kakashi has a god stat while Naruto has a 40 plus stats. Yeah, 69k for speed unit. So yeah, Naruto's attack stat is way higher than everyone else. Defense, I guess his defense is average. His movement is only 1-4, which is gonna be 1-3 for like 99% of the time. But in reality, it's gonna be 5 because of his S2. And I'm gonna go over in a bit why that's really good. But let's go over his skills. So that's his stats right there. His stats not bad. Stats is pretty decent. So his skill, his passive, his first skill, which is recover 10 chakra after action. So you recover 20 by default, so now that's 30. And before you attack, you recover an extra 10. So if you basic attack a unit, you're recovering 40. If you use a skill, you're recovering, 40. But if you just move around, you're recovering 30. That's pretty good, especially since the chakra cost of his S1 is only 75. So like when you attack, you're gonna recover 30 right away. You're gonna be at 100 minus 75, so 25 plus 30, you're already at 55. And 40 if you attack, so you're back as, you can pretty much attack every 2 turns. You can use a skill every 2 turns, which is really good. And then if you use your S2, you're gonna recover in 30, so you can go S2 straight into S1 instantly. And then his potential skill, which is just recover 10% HP before an enemy attack. It's not an attack buff, but you know, that's fine. Because he has an attack buff built in somewhere else, and you'll be buffing him with Lee or Sasuke most definitely. So he will have a normal attack of 15%, I want to say 99% of the time. So let's just add that in. So he has a 45% attack buff combined with his attack rampage, which, as I said in the earlier videos, in tier list video, it's a unique attack buff, which means it will stack. But yeah, so let's go over his skill 1. 1.5 times attack damage, Second highest, I believe. I believe the highest is Tsunade at 1.6, so 1.5 times is a lot. Critical Rampage plus 20%, and then critical crit chance plus 20%. So that's gonna be a lot of damage, I'm guessing. 191k at level 100 with all the buffs that you have. Not counting, let's say you have Kakashi. I believe Kakashi gives attack. Was it lead? I believe it's lead or command. I think it's lead and command. Go over Kakashi. I don't have Kakashi sadly. Yeah, attack lead and attack command. Let's say you have Kakashi on your team, or is it Jiraiya? Or Jiraiya, yeah. So like, you're just buffing Naruto like crazy. Like if you had the luck on your side and you got command, so you give him command. Now it's 231k, and then Kakashi is also his fix is also a unique buff. So now that's extra 15%. So you're getting 250k damage, which is enough to one-shot a Kakashi. So that's very good. So that's his buff, plus Sasuke, because Sasuke is going to be in your team. And then if you luckily have Kakashi, Kakashi gives plus 45% to his party. But if you don't have Kakashi, you just remove the 45% right here. So we just remove this, and let's say you exchanged for Jiraiya. Jiraiya is 30% or 20? I don't know the legendary signing yet. 20%, because I don't. Oh, and plus 1 move. That's very good. So let's change that to 20% real quick, and then let's give him the plus 1 movement that he needs. So now his movement is 7, which is 6 if he's not level 100. But yeah, that's really good. Plus his damage plus crit. That's very, very good. And then his skill 2, I'll kill you. Silly Naruto. So attack Rampage plus 30%, and this is the most important part. Blink Rampage plus 2. Blink is movement speed, or like just move. So normally he'll be at 1.3/1.4 depending on his level, and then you're giving him Blink plus 2, and it's unique because it's a Rampage. So now his movement goes to 6 or 5 or 6 depending on what level you have him. Look at how much he moves. And the reason why that's very important, because most fights in the late game has a 3-turn requirement to complete it for the missions, not to beat it, just to complete the mission. 3 turns, and these fights are like you're fighting 7 enemies on this big ass field, and if you're only having 1-3, you can't really move around. And that's the main reason why I said in the tier list video that Orochimaru is probably the best character in the game, because he has plus 6 movement speed combined with his plus 5. So he can go to where the enemy is, and if you have him built like this, 71k defense, plus a little bit of attack, he will be able to like counterattack, one-shot the enemies. And counterattack is the most important way to bypass, to like clear the turn count. Because you're not clearing them. AoE's probably not going to be enough to clear all of them. You want to use an AoE to take care of like 2 units, 3 units if they're piled up a little bit. But counterattacks is where most of the damage to clear the 3-turn threshold is. And you can't really clear those 3 turns threshold if your movement speed is not a lot. But like someone like Naruto who buffs his own by 2. 1 is nice, but 1 is like not enough. But 2 is really good. If you have someone like Jiraiya who buffs parties by 1, then that's really good. I don't know who else buffs. I know Zabuza is really good at that because he grants himself an extra turn. So in reality he has 3 and then plus another 3, so he has 6 movements. That's really good for clearing 3 turns. That's why like Zabuza is probably the best 3-star in the game. And then the new Haku that came out, he doesn't really have movement speed buff, but he's a speed unit, so he has a built. And let's remove this so that it doesn't confuse. Has a built-in extra because he's a speed unit. I wonder who else gives movement speed. I think this is the self, so that doesn't really matter. I think Jiraiya is to party. Yeah, Jiraiya is big to party, which is Blink plus 1. Really good. Shino is an AoE attacker, so he doesn't give it. Kamaru ability is a debuffer, so he doesn't give movement buff. Except for Inoshika Cho. But Inoshika Cho is not really that good. Rock Lee doesn't give it to anyone, he gives it to himself. So he's really good at that, but it's only for 2 turns, so he's already the best attacker in the game today. Tomorrow's best attacker is easily Naruto. Kakashi doesn't give blink, does he? No, he doesn't give blink. Like, I just want to see which character gives blink. No, he's just a defense soaker. Does Kiva give? No, Kiva doesn't. No, he does have blink. Okay, so Kiva's might be really good for this, but he has to attack someone to trigger it or get attacked. That might not be good in the long run because he can't just do it. He has to attack. And then Guy doesn't. He just gives an attack buff to himself and protects. See, there's not a lot of characters that gives AoE blink. Gaara is just a defense buff. You see, Sakura is the other way around. She slows, which means -1 in their movement. And -1 in their movement hurts you more than it helps you. Especially for that. Another no. See, like, there's so many characters in the game just doesn't give any blink. Tenten is double AoE. What is Iruka? Iruka gives crit buff. Yeah, I don't think there's anyone other than Jiraiya who gives blink. That's crazy. I know Kakashi doesn't give blink. Like, who else? Does Asuma give blink? No, she slows. Like, there's no units that gives blink. That's why it's very hard, if not impossible, to get those 3 turns right now. But Naruto is really gonna help out hit those 3 turns because of Rampage +2. And if you have Jiraiya, now he has a 3 movement speed buff. But I wouldn't exchange for Jiraiya at the moment. I want to say your first exchange is gonna be for Orochimaru, because Orochimaru is really gonna help you with those clears. And then after that, you can go Jiraiya or Tsunade either way. Either one of those fights. But yeah, Naruto, really good. Probably the best 4-star in the game, in my opinion. Like, for PvP, I don't think he will be that useful. Well, he might be. But I'm not sure, because PvP metas, you play PvP a bit different than everything else. AoE units are good for PvP as well as speed units. Attack units don't really shine much. Because you're ending the fights in 2 turns, and turn 1 is all set up. So he probably can't reach them on time. All he's gonna be doing is killing 1 unit. While Sasuke can kill like 3 or 4. They bunch up. And speed units can just reach them faster. So yeah, I think he's the best PvE character in the game. Best PvP is still probably goes to Sasuke, Zabuza, and Orochimaru. And yeah, but at least it's better than the normal Sasuke, the normal GK Sasuke that normal Shinobi collection is getting. Man. Alright, I'll see y'all in the next video.